The Pacific Ocean is a vast, unforgiving wilderness. Out here, hundreds of miles from anywhere, the line between survival and disaster is razor thin. On November 4th, 2025, a U.S. Coast Guard HC-130J Hercules aircraft circled high above the deep blue, hunting for a ghost. Not a spirit, but a narco-submarine. These low-profile vessels are the workhorses of the drug cartels, designed to slip beneath the waves and evade detection, carrying millions in illicit cargo. Finding one in the open ocean is like finding a needle in a haystack. But today, the crew had a lead, a whisper of intelligence pointing them near the Galápagos Islands. Inside the HC-130J, every eye was glued to a screen, every ear tuned to the hum of the engines. They searched for the faintest clue, a disturbance on the surface, a periscope flash, or the nearly invisible wake of a semi-submersible. These narco-subs run just below the surface, with only a snorkel and cockpit visible, almost impossible to spot. The sun beat down, creating a blinding glare, but the crew fought fatigue, knowing every minute counted. Somewhere below, a vessel packed with cocaine was making its way north. Suddenly, a faint blip appeared on a sensor screen. The operator called it out. "Contact! Possible surface contact, bearing 190." The pilot banked the aircraft toward the coordinates. Was this it? Or just another false alarm? They dropped lower for visual confirmation. The hunt was on. The ghost in the deep was about to be revealed. The real challenge was just beginning. As the HC-130J closed in, the target's shape became clear. A classic narco-sub, long and slender, painted dull gray to blend with the ocean. Built in secret jungle labs, these semi-submersibles are marvels of illicit engineering, designed for stealth. Their low profile makes them nearly invisible to radar. Their engines are muffled, their exhaust cooled. The sub moved at a steady pace, using the glare of the sun and ocean chop for cover. The smugglers were pros, likely monitoring radio frequencies for any sign they'd been spotted. The U.S. team had found their target, but now had to keep it in sight without spooking it. The sub's fiberglass hull and tiny cockpit made it look like debris from a distance. The Hercules crew maintained a careful distance. Too close, and the smugglers might scuttle the vessel. Intelligence confirmed this was their target, loaded with an estimated 7 tons of cocaine. The information crackled over secure radio to Joint Interagency Task Force South. The shadow on the radar was now a confirmed threat, inching towards Central America. Finding the sub was the easy part. Now they had to stop it. For that, they needed more than just a plane. They needed boots on the deck, and fast. The clock was ticking. The next move would decide everything. The narco sub was nearing a major shipping lane. If it slipped into that traffic, it would vanish. The HC-130J could only spot, not intercept. Every gallon of fuel burned was precious time lost. The USCGC Stone was still hours away, and the sub was moving at 10 knots, enough to cover serious distance. If the cutter didn't arrive in time, the sub would disappear. The smugglers would likely make their final run under cover of darkness. The U.S. forces were in a race against the sun. The command team made a call, launched the cutter's helicopter, the MH-65 Dolphin. It was a gamble. The helicopter had limited range and time on station. But it was fast and carried a team that could actually stop the sub. The order was relayed across the ocean: scramble the Dolphin. The crew of the USCGC Stone prepared for a high-stakes intercept. It was a long shot, but their only shot. The window was closing. The race was on. There was no turning back. On the USCGC Stone, the call to action was immediate. The flight deck crew sprang into motion as the MH-65 Dolphin helicopter roared to life. Pilots and aircrew, already suited up, sprinted to the bright orange chopper. The Dolphin lifted off, blades ablur, heading for the coordinates relayed by the HC-130J. On-board pilot, co-pilot, and a Hytron marksman, tasked with disabling the sub's engines. The helicopter raced across the waves, pushing to the edge of its range. They had enough fuel to reach the sub and loiter briefly. No room for error. The marksman chambered a round in his .50 caliber rifle. The plan warned the smugglers, then disable the vessel if they refused to stop. The tip of the spear was airborne. The MH-65 Dolphin arrived, buzzing over the silent narco sub. The HC-130J, low on fuel, climbed to act as a communications relay. The helicopter crew broadcast warnings in English and Spanish. "U.S. Coast Guard, stop your vessel!" The smugglers ignored them, pressing on. Fuel was running low, 30 minutes left to act. The Hytron sniper leaned out, sighted his rifle on the sub's engine compartment, and waited for the command. Suddenly, a malfunction. The rifle's firing mechanism jammed. Their primary weapon was useless, and fuel was critical. The smugglers, sensing hesitation, kept moving. The U.S. team was running out of time, fuel, and options. The stakes had never been higher. Every second counted. The mission hung by a thread. Just as things seemed dire, two fast boats appeared on the horizon. The cartel's protection detail. Their goal: create chaos and buy time for the sub to escape. The go-fast boats weaved dangerously, trying to disrupt the helicopter's approach. The crew's main gun was down, but the co-pilot had an M240 machine gun. The pilot maneuvered for a clear shot. The co-pilot fired warning bursts in front of the sub's bow, tracer rounds skipping across the water. The message was clear: stop now or face direct fire. The smugglers hesitated, realizing their protectors couldn't save them. The go-fast boats backed off, unwilling to escalate. The standoff reached its climax. The Coast Guard held firm. The cartel's gamble had failed. The sub was alone. The endgame was near. As the helicopter's fuel warning flashed, the USCGC Stone appeared on the horizon. The cartel's go-fast boats fled, leaving the narco sub exposed. The cutter launched two rigid-hull inflatable boats, boarding teams racing toward the stalled sub. The smugglers surrendered, emerging from the cockpit with hands raised. The helicopter landed on the cutter with minutes of fuel to spare. Boarding the sub was risky. It could be scuttled or booby-trapped. The team approached with caution, weapons ready. They secured the four smugglers and stabilized the vessel. Opening the cargo hold, they found bales of cocaine stacked to the ceiling. It was a massive haul, a huge blow to the cartel. The operation was a textbook success. The Coast Guard had captured the crew, the vessel, and the evidence. The final push was complete. The ocean was calm once more. The mission was a triumph of skill and teamwork. The Coast Guard had prevailed. The threat was neutralized. Victory was theirs. The capture of the narco sub was a major victory. The smugglers were in custody, the vessel rigged for towing. 7 tons of cocaine, worth hundreds of millions, would never reach its destination. This success was a result of teamwork, from intelligence analysts to flight crews, helicopter teams, and boarding parties. Every person played a vital role. The message to the cartels was clear. There are no safe havens. No matter how clever their methods, they will be hunted. The U.S. and its partners are always watching. This interception dealt a massive blow to the cartel's finances and operations. As the USCGC Stone sailed home, the sun set over the Galápagos. The ocean, once a battlefield, was calm again. For the Coast Guard, it was another day at the office. The fight continues, one mission at a time. Victory at sea, hard won and well earned.